Hi everyone, welcome to the Everythinggoes podcast. I'm Omar, the host, and today is a 0 o'clock episode, which means it's a fun, light, happy episode. We're not gonna rant about anyone, or at least only a little bit. So it's mostly fun, and today we have some very, very special people that I'm so excited that they're here. They're part of the pillars of the fandom, I think. And that's One in an Army. We have the One in an Army brigade here. There was something you guys did, I can't, like a month ago or two. I think it was kind of big. We cannot talk about it. Come on, it was huge.
It was so huge. You know what's funny? The one thing I think about is the very first, and I think I was talking to Erica, and it was one other person, and we had talked as soon as that hashtag got started. We had a conversation of like, do you really think it could hit 1 million? And I just remember, because I'm always like overly pessimistic and super like, we can do anything, we can do it. And somebody put in there like, listen, I'm gonna be happy if we hit like $40,000. And I was like, no way, you watch this. Mark my words right now. I want to go back and like frame that and put that on my wall. Mark my word, we're going to make this happen. And then as it got closer and closer, it was like, oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
But I didn't think, I wasn't super surprised by it though. Like when Army gets passionate about something, they just run with it. And they let their voice be known, and they did that. So I think it's great.
Did you expect it to reach 1 million so quickly?
No.
I totally did. 100%. 100%.
I mean, I thought, okay, let's do this match in the land, and it's a great idea. But like, I thought, okay, maybe in a week we'll get really close. Like we would have to really push and promote for a week. But then after a couple hours of just posting, like our initial post, I was like, oh my gosh, it is climbing like crazy. This might actually really happen. It's amazing to see. It was
exactly.
Really.
Same. I also thought we were gonna hit it in like a week, but like as we saw the country rise by like it was very fast, and it was unreal because we've seen like projects that take a whole month, and they would raise, not even like $10,000. I mean, it's a huge number on itself, but you know what I mean. It's like $8,000 in a month for this charity or something, and that day we've seen it raised by like 8,000, 10,000 in a minute, and it was unreal. It was like seeing something that's like unrealistic, but it was also very amazing to witness, to see Army supporting, coming together for a cause that is so important. I was very proud because we've known that they were already like donating. We've seen them donate through the card before that. I think it was 50,000 before the multi-million hashtag kicked off. So we already know that they were donating, and we also know that they were sharing cards and doing like what they can. But seeing them donate again, we've seen a lot of people who donated like twice or three times more, just to reach $1 million. So that made us very, very happy to witness and to see them like very dedicated for it, to reach the goal. Yeah. That was a dream come true, actually.
It was.
Yeah.
It was surreal to go to sleep and to wake up and we're like, did we make it? Oh my gosh, we actually hit it.
I stayed awake the entire time. I couldn't go to sleep.
But I knew I needed to.
I think we got to like 1 million at like 3 a.m. here.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, I got it. I posted a tweet and went to sleep.
I was up so much. I was giving my entire family like play-by-plays.
Yeah.
We hit this much. We hit this much. We hit this much.
Yeah, we were keeping like an eye on it because like we had the press release and stuff. So Like we
Oh,
were
yeah.
like, oh, when it's gonna hit it? Should we like, because we already know that we've known that they already hit it before the 1 million mark. If we counted the, you know, they submitted to the form, right? We had a form for the ones who submitted to who donated to different organizations that were not part of Match a Million. So if we counted those, they already hit 1 million before the 24 hours mark. So we were wondering if we should have said that or keep them, you know, excited for the Act Blue one.
Well, I can do the logistics. So like people, once this whole thing started, when everything with Mr. Floyd went down, like at least Twitter, because that's where we are, it blew up like everywhere. Anything I saw on my timeline was about what was happening and what was happening in America. Like, I think most of us all knew that there was an oppression, but I don't think a lot of us knew how deep it went. And everyone started educating everyone about everything. And of course, usually when stuff like this happens, people also looked to one in an army and started asking us like, what can we do? And since we're not an awareness account, which is something that a lot of people want us to be, but we don't feel like we have enough knowledge of everything going around in the world and with politics and everything, that we don't want to do that. We just stick to what we know. So when everyone wanted us to share something, we found this Google Doc that had a lot of resources, but it was mainly the donation part that we focused on, and then our research team said like, yes, these are good ones to share. So because it was like bombarding us with stuff, so we just tried to get something out pretty quickly, since crisis is something that we don't do projects for. But then after about a week and everything was still going on, someone asked us like, there are so many places to donate to, could you kind of like tell us which ones you prefer, or not prefer, but which we would recommend? And that's when our research team really went down to it and like really checked them also, so it would like check all our boxes as something that we would actually share. And that's when the card came, because we've seen a lot of cards going around. So I was like, maybe we should do a card, because that seems like an easier way to do it than doing threads that can split and everything. So that's when the card came about. And then also another team member from the research team saw the Act Blue fundraisers, that it was mostly used for bail funds. But she saw that the organizations that we had on our list was also available on the Act Blue site. So then I said, maybe we should do one of those as well, because a lot of people are also saying they don't know where to donate to. So this gave them a way to not have to choose, so to speak. So that's why we actually, and to be able to use Act Blue, you had to start a fundraiser. So that's why we don't usually start fundraisers for crisis stuff, but since you had to do that to be able to use the split donation thing, we had to do that as well. So that's the thing that we used to like track everything. And that one had about, I think, 50,000 American dollars before the whole thing started, which is a lot already, because usually our I think the biggest one before that was probably when BTS went to Cordon and then CDC. Yeah, CDC. And that one had 20,000, which was matched by Lysol, so it made 40,000. So this one was already huge, and then everything, and then BTS donated $1 million, and a lot of armies all of a sudden said, let's match it. And so some armies actually like took it in their own hands, so like, let's actually do this. And then they asked if we could track it, because we said, yeah, we already have all this stuff, go ahead and use it. And then off it went.
Yeah, off it went.
So it's like we didn't actually like do Match a Million. We didn't have much to do with it really. We just gave people the resource to be able to do it, which is a huge misconception. There we go.
But it's huge. It's not. You make it sound like it's small. Oh, we only gave people the way to do it. That's the main thing about all these things. Like you can say it about every single charity you guys promote or organize. Like we just give people the way to donate to this cause, but it's a lot. And when you have a specific account that does that, it allows everyone to channel it directly to it. And also, like when someone sees someone donate, then another person also says, "Oh, okay, because together we're stronger. I'll donate as well." And every dollar counts, every cent counts. It's like voting. Like you should vote because every vote counts. So it's the same here. Like you start small, but the numbers grow, and so having that one account, that centralized account, it's not small. It's not something like, oh, we're just giving them a way to do it. No, it's very, very big because everyone
I can argue about this with you all day if you want to, but I'm still gonna say like
Okay.
it's Armin who does all these things. We're just here to give them something to stand on.
But
Yeah, I would say.
we
Oh,
stand on
sorry.
it
Go
together.
ahead. No, I would say that basically we had a contribution because we tried to help, but mainly this is a common effort. And of course, the results is amazing. Like I personally didn't think that it would blow up that way. And as Lou said, it's mostly because many people are ignorant and many people all around the world don't care enough about many things and many problems. So to see such an issue that has been ongoing for years and years and years, it's something that was really truly impressive because everyone's effort was coming together on one thing. So of course, to be one of the person who helped, like simply putting it up, like helping sharing what could be done, this is like amazing. Like I personally, I'm so proud to have been like part of this and to have been able even to help one person. But I completely agree with Lou because we are only contributors. Like we helped. Yes, we tried to help as much as we could, but this is everyone's effort that come together that made this amazing results. And I'm definitely grateful for every single person that gave even just $1. It made the complete result amazing. I personally gave, but it doesn't matter, you know, it's like one person that gave made an amazing result and it came together. And being at least 1% of those people who actually tried to do something about it just makes me proud and makes me proud of everyone who tried to help and did something about it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I think another thing to mention here is how different it was from our regular campaigns as well, because usually, I mean, it's amazing. It's so great that Army donate even to our monthly campaigns, but usually, you know, we have a campaign going for the whole month and we promote it every single day and we do side activities and we're like saying, this is our cause, like, let's come together, and we maybe get like $5,000 or we get $6,000 or $7,000 or $8,000, and that's still incredible and it still makes so much of an impact. But then all of a sudden, to go from having a whole month and getting maybe at like $10,000 in our campaign to having like 2 days $1 million, and we didn't do the side, we didn't have to do the whole like, oh, here's our side activity, here's us promoting it every single minute, like, which, and I mean, that's fun. It's fun to promote our campaign so much, but we basically did no promotion and we just gave the mechanism for it, and then it was like thousands of times more than what we would usually manage to collect. So it really took off by itself.
Yeah, like the Black Lives Matter movement donation thing is like, it really wasn't us. Like it truly was Army who did, like, we saw people who like tried to get people outside of Army to donate, like, and people that were associated with BTS in some way, and they got them to donate, which people like that usually have a little deeper pockets than
Yeah.
than what a regular Army has. And it's like, I know we talked about it a lot in news segments and in newspapers and everything, because we were kind of like Army Central at that point, because it stemmed from our platform, but it still wasn't us.
I understand what you're like.
That's been wild. That has been a very wild situation. So
So let's talk a bit about like how did it come about, how it went down.
Well, we had already done a card for Black Lives Matter to research organizations, and then it was Daisy and someone else, Mono Playlist, I think.
Rhea?
Yeah, I'm on his playlist.
Yeah, that they were the both of them that decided to try to match the million that BTS had done, and just to get a surge of support going. And so a lot of armies tagged us, and I think did Daisy and Mono also reach out to us?
I think one just came up with the hashtag. Like I
Yeah,
don't
they
want
both
to take
did.
credit if she did like more. Like I
Oh,
think
but
like, Daisy did suggest it, and then they came up with the hashtag, and then I think like they tagged you or something.
yeah, then we got a bunch of tags. So then we just figured, oh yeah, we go ahead, use our card. And we decided to also look for ways to track it, because I know a lot of armies wanted to track it to make sure that we were reaching the amount. And it kind of just spiraled into something huge.
Yeah. It's funny because it's like it started as like a joke, like how now army are gonna match the million, and then it just the ball kept rolling, and
Yeah, I think that also there were already armies that were looking to help out, that we were already like helping out, doing donations, doing their what's the word?
yeah.
They're trying to educate themselves, the situation, going out to protest as well. And so then when this came out, it kind of just, it actually turned into something serious, and like people wanted to funnel their energy into trying to donate as much as we can. And we also had the resources. We had already picked out the organization. So now that the armies that didn't know where to donate, they had some place to do so. The articles are the ones that surprised us the most, I think. The fact that we had to do a press release to make sure that the information that we were giving, that reporters can get it in one place, that was something pretty new and something that we really weren't expecting. But
Yeah, that news coverage, like, have you ever had so much news coverage before this? No.
I mean, not that big. We've had reporters, I guess, reach out to us before, or at least we've had articles here and there. Like it was like a trickle, really. This was just a whole flood, really.
yeah, I think there were some people that reached out in previous things. I think maybe after the thing that happened with James Corden, and a few other times that people were, I think it was mostly people that were trying to do stories on BTS, and they heard about that there was this fan base, and they would ask us a few things, but the Match a Million project is like opened all the floodgates of all of these publications all at once. It was pretty crazy, but it was really exciting to see. I mean, that whole day, like Michelle said, the donation links were already out there. They had been circulating, they had been going around, and armies were on it. Armies were, educating each other, and armies were sending out petitions and, explaining to people how they can help, and, explain the situation and everything. So all of that was happening. And so when the Variety article came out that said that BTS had made the donation, and it had been made a few days before that, and the idea to match it, just I'm not at all surprised that Army said let's match it, because I think that we're basically a fandom that really likes to challenge ourselves, and I think that we enjoy, like, and to challenge ourselves in such a meaningful way, I think was really something that everybody was excited to be able to do. And so the idea like took off like wildfire, and it was a crazy day on Twitter. That was definitely one pretty wild day. We were just like, oh, we don't know what's happening, what's going on. Oh, trying to answer questions. People wanted to, donate to this and the other thing, and we can't, we have our own rules as to what we can share and what we can't. And so you have to say, sorry, we're not able to share that, but this card, this is already out there. And then people started sharing that, and telling everybody their card is here and they're going straight to the organizations and everything. So it was incredible. It was insane, but really really amazing.
Did it take you by surprise how quickly it happened? Like 25 hours? That's insane.
Yeah, because we had already been, when we had checked our tracking amount before, we were at how much, Erica? Like 30 or 50?
We were at like 30 when I had checked it in the morning, and then we actually had a reporter asking for the amount, and I went to check again that afternoon, and it was like 59. So we were discussing, oh my goodness, that is such a huge jump already. And that was just before the article came out that BTS had made their donation. And so that was how much, and that was just on the card. If you remember, like, people were sending a lot of information around and donating long before we even got a card out there. So the momentum was already like way in progress.
Yeah, but it's not always, it was surprising that we reached that amount, I guess, that quickly. But at the same time, it really isn't, because we've had a campaign, the filter one, where they've completely surpassed our expectations and made us reach donations faster than we thought possible. So this is surprising, but not really.
That's true. It wasn't. I mean, I didn't expect it to happen that quickly. I don't think because nobody said let's match the million in 24 hours.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. They said match the million, and so we're like, sure, that's the goal. But
yeah,
it went, and eventually after a couple of hours, we're like, we might do this in one day. Wow, you know, and it happened. That's exactly what happened. So go Army, you are incredible.
Yay.
Amazing.
Fighting.
Yeah.
Speaking of press release, were you surprised by the media attention after it?
Yes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's about time. Like, guys should have gotten media attention a year ago, like, or before that. Like, you do so much and everyone sees it, and Army donates through you, and the fact that it's completely ignored and was ignored until now, it's just
Did we ever like try to reach out to? I don't think we've ever tried to, right? Like, you know, have media coverage.
Well, I mean, we did do interviews and people would reach out to us, you know, for things like that, but not as big as after Match a Million.
Yeah.
Nothing like this.
Yeah, definitely.
When it hit Al Jazeera, I like lost my marbles and squealed and called everybody I knew.
It's a big like achievement. It's very hard to do that, you know, to raise 1 million. 1 million.
We're all just high school girls who don't have money, you know, like.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, where do we get this money to donate to this amazing cause?
Yeah. Yeah.
I emptied my piggy bank for it, let me tell you.
I'm so happy that like that it happened, really.
Yeah.
I was very proud. I'm still proud.
Still very proud.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that it got so much media attention? Because you guys have been doing so much for so long, and like Army acknowledges it and sees it, and we adore that map. And we, every time there's a hater, I personally post it. Stop saying we're toxic. Look what we do.
Yeah, we noticed that a lot in our mentions.
Yeah, it's like the biggest, best comeback you can give, because obviously that person is not going to listen to what you have to say. They already think you're toxic, so you might as well be like, no, but look, donation.
I think this was the part where we got so much attention is kind of just due to the Black Lives Matter zeitgeist that was happening at the time, because for a long time we've been kind of under the radar, and like Army charity in general has been sort of, it's known about to Army, but it's not really known about to anybody else, and everybody thinks, oh, Army, like they're fans of a band, they're teenage girls screaming their heads off, whatever, which is so annoying. But then because all of a sudden, like, so much of the world was focused on the Black Lives Matter movement, because Bangtan donated, there was so much attention on that as well. And it was just like a combination of so many things happening together, and like the donation being so big and it happened so quickly, like it all came together to be something that everybody was paying attention to. So it was quite amazing that all of a sudden they were like, I think everybody was quite shocked that they were like, oh, there's had this organized group and like they've actually managed to do it, and they've done it all together, and it's only been 2 days and they've already done it. Like, because it was such a shock, I think, for a lot of people to hear this about ARMY as a fandom, to realize that fandoms could do this kind of thing. I think it got a lot of attention from that as well.
Deserved attention.
I think in a way it made people come out of their comfort zone in relation to how they perceive ARMY, because as did Elizabeth talk? I'm sorry, I have no idea who talked before.
It was me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I knew I recognized your voice. So as you said, I think the general perception was like, yeah, they're crazy teenage girls, but once this happened, somehow it forced people to actually realize that, okay, maybe some teenage girl couldn't have done that. So it had to be something more.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Exactly.
I think it was also like, because before that you had the K-pop fans and TikTok users use fan cams to crash down the police app and all that. So it's, again, very easy to say, oh, it's just teenage, like, yeah, they're helping, they're contributing, but it's teenagers and they're doing what they normally do, just this time they focus it on for the good, for the greater good. But here you really can't just say, oh, it's just kids.
Yeah, just check the Reuters news that went out like last night. They have like a demographic. Just shove it at them.
Yeah.
There's also some videos on YouTube that I found that they happen to be in my recommended, and they gathered information about the demographics from sites like Naver, and then from news sites that actually somehow try to get a trend for the demographics. And I think BTS demographics was more oriented towards older people, like, I don't know, over 30 or something. They had the highest demographics among the idol groups, and especially boy groups.
And like people really came together and did it, so it definitely was a joint effort, because that's what it was. But I think if you look, it's like the difference between a light bulb and a laser, because they both give light, but a light bulb like spreads it around, so it's very weak. But a laser, it's all concentrated, so it's like it cuts through. And I think that you enable that to make it a laser instead of just a light bulb. So yeah, so definitely joint effort. Everyone joined together and brought this and made this what it is. But you guys help to concentrate it to one place and give it the impact that it has. So,
yeah, I think
just
that's
didn't
fair
help
to
more
say.
than anyone else.
We definitely didn't start it, and we definitely didn't promote it to as much an extent as a lot of other people did. But our contribution was helping people have the mechanism and helping people have a way to do it.
Yeah.
So we helped with some of it, but it's not a one in an army project. It was a whole army. It was the complete army family did it together.
Yeah, take credit for it, damn it.
Being from Europe, I literally woke up to the news that BTS donated, and then after many hours, the hashtag was still trending when I woke up. Like, if I remember correctly, the news from Variety, that was the magazine, right?
Yeah.
That came out at like 1 a.m. my time or something.
Yeah.
And then I woke up at like 8-9 a.m. and the hashtag was still trending #1. And the one in an army server, our server, was basically on fire because everyone was everywhere. And then I went on Twitter and saw the account that gave updates, and it was like an incredible amount of money. I really can't remember, but it was.
I think it was at 500K when, like, European morning.
Yeah, that was what I remember. So like 400 or something, 411, 13 something, and I kept
refreshing the page, and almost every time I refreshed, it went up like 2K. And I was, well, this is absolutely crazy. And when the hashtag went down the match a million, they replaced it with another hashtag because why not? Because Army can. And then also when I woke up, I went on Twitter to see it on fire, of course. And then I had a wall of replies from people that were like, well, this photographer talked with V at some point, and let's ask them if they can donate. And then this one talked about Jungkook because he recommended his song, and so let's talk to him too. And it was absolutely crazy.
2 years
So-
ago.
A lot of them did.
Yeah.
This guy.
So while one in an army put the page out, the Act Blue page with the split donations, and then the forum to track the donations that were not split, it really was Army. Yeah.
Were you surprised by the speed? That I don't think people were saying in 24 hours, but I don't think people really expected it to happen in 25 hours.
I
It was
said multiple
unbelievable.
times on the Discord server that I think Army took this as a challenge. Like when they release a music video and they're like, okay, let's get to 50 million views in 24 hours. This time they were like, okay, let's get it to $1 million in 24 hours. This was like a day challenge for them. It was crazy.
Yeah.
I think when they saw that it might be possible, that they actually okay, let's do it. Because I think it just was let's match it. And then when they saw how fast it grew, they was like, wait, we can do this in 24 hours. Come on.
Yeah, they hyped each other up. And every time we hit a milestone, I know someone from the team had to raise the milestone, and I think that was like, okay, we hit 500 now. Can we get it to 600? And it was like, when YouTubers ask can we get this video to 25,000 likes? This is can we get this donation to $1 million?
Yeah.
Absolutely
If this
crazy. I
donation
don't
gets
think
$1
anyone.
million out.
Yeah, I don't think anyone in their right mind expected this to happen.
No.
No, definitely not.
Nice to see everyone engaging with charity and trying to do their own charity project.
Yeah.
To see people starting their own, it's very nice to see, a fandom care about that. It's not usual. You don't see it in other places,
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nice.
Sure.
I think it's also contagious because when other fans see, your fandom is doing something really good and it's very positive, more and more people become more inspired to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. How amazing is it that just in 2020, Army donated about $2 million?
Yeah.
It's 2020, and we're not
Yeah.
even. It's not December yet.
I know.
Crazy.
I think, and we just celebrated Army donating 1 million to all these causes over the course of 5 years, and then suddenly in this first half of 2020 we beat that record.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But it's probably one of the silver linings and best things of 2020, considering the pandemic and all of this stuff that happened. Yeah. So it's
All right. I mean, the 2020 started with fires. Actually.
yeah.
Is there something about something that happened with Army that surprised you? That you weren't expecting them to do or to support, or I don't know. Even
Like a project, you mean?
yeah. It doesn't necessarily have to do with one in an army, but in general, did Army ever do something that completely took you by surprise?
Oh, the thing for V. They created a school and paved an entire road through a city and built a bridge so that the school could be accessed.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And that just absolutely shocked me. I don't remember where it was or what group, but they built a bridge and paved a road so that the school was accessible and paved quite a bit of a road for it.
I don't know what this project is, but we will discuss it in Army History 101 Part 4. I will find out and we will.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
They did it for V.
It was China Army, right?
Yeah, I think it was
Oh,
China.
wow,
Like
it was.
the V bar, I think. I'm not sure, but yeah.
It was amazing.
From
That
China.
just blew me away. I was like, oh my gosh, what?
Yeah. Anyone?
Yeah.
For me, in general, anytime Army comes together and we all collectively do something at the same time is always amazing to me, no matter what it is. And good thing that we're, Army's good people. So it always be good, right? Imagine if we were bad people, but collectively we were just as powerful.
Terrifying.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Same. I have nothing to add. Same.
So back to like stuff we were talking about. Is there something that the fandom did that like really took you by surprise and make you feel all proud inside? And anyone?
Sorry, I'm really thinking about it. Whenever they want to actively thank someone through charity has been something that has surprised me a lot. I think the first time they've ever done it, I don't remember who it was, and that they had either reached out to us to set up a fundraiser or something, I'm not sure, but to see how quickly everybody wanted to definitely donate to charity to this organization, to show appreciation, that was just wonderful. Whenever they do that, it's just makes me super happy and very like whole warm-hearted, like fluttery to know that they are that eager to help out and just to show love. And that way it shows that celebrity or public figure, the kind of person, the kind of people that Army are. So it's just great.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what comes to mind for me too. Is I don't remember the first one either. Was it Halsey or I think there's probably something before Halsey.
Like Good Morning America did something, didn't they?
Wasn't there something for Uncle Elvis?
Uncle Elvis. That was around the same time with Halsey because that was during the Boy with Love promotions, right? And that was a Donors Choose. He supported Donors Choose, and so Army's. This was not one of our projects. This was who did it? ASAP Fablefly, I think was the account name that took the lead in that K. And so they got so many classrooms funded, and Uncle Elvis talked about it on the radio show the next day. And they also did something for Halsey. I think she supported a lot of women's rights issues, and so they were asking us to put together like possible organizations that would be on that topic. And so we put out a thread of a few organizations that we found. And they've done, and it always blows up so big when it's something that's just like spontaneous. And it's funny because we have these campaigns and they go on for a whole long month, but when armies have like a spontaneous, let's do something for this person or let's thank this person, they've been so great to BTS. And, we want to show them support, and they show them support by helping someone in their name, which is really cool, So, James Corden, there was the one for him. I think there was one for Jimmy Fallon too, which was the Magic Breakfast, I think was James Corden, and then Jimmy Fallon's was, Food Bank New York.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't it Food Bank for New York? Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, and so those are the things that are just, they come out of nowhere, and just it's really amazing to see, and everybody being so happy and excited to do this for them, and being so proud of each other. I'm so proud of Army right now, this is amazing. That's always a good feeling. We spend like all the time just like, oh,
We're so adorable.
That's totally in our name. That's the whole
we really are adorable. Elena, can you think of like an example of something?
Well, I don't think I can choose like a certain moment. Like fandom goes through those cycles, and every single time there's something new that surprises me. But mostly it has been, as Dave said, the charities and the way to say thank you.
Okay. Larissa?
For me, I also think like when there's a crisis, like I think there were the floods in Assam in India very recently. And so there's so many different things like natural disasters, and armies always reach out to us and ask if we can do something. And I know it's really exhausting for SNS team, especially like those that are on Twitter most of the time. I know it's really exhausting, but I think it's really nice that they're so interested in helping. So I don't know.
Yeah. What are some things that you're most proud of in our fandom?
Oh.
Everything?
I think for me, army's really helpful. Like older armies always want to help new armies, or like whenever anybody has a question or anybody says, oh, you know, I'm looking for this particular interview from 2 years ago in this tiny magazine, like there's always somebody who wants to help you, and they'll always come and be like, oh yeah, no, it's this, I have it saved, or be like, oh yeah, this is the question you were asking, here's all the information I have about it. And you know, of course, sometimes you have to check, like, where is this information coming from, because it's important to stay aware of your like sources. But you know, lots of other fandoms, they would sometimes, from experiences I've had, they would sometimes be like, oh, you don't know, well, why are you even asking, like nobody else knows, why don't you know, just go and find it yourself, Google is free, go and look. And it's like, that's a bit mean.
Yeah.
But army are like, oh no, let me help you, like let me give you this information, oh I have that downloaded, here you go, just take it, like take all these things I have. And it's a really friendly like atmosphere.
Yeah.
Also, I remember like for the new army, fact check, please.
Ugh.
Fact check. And when someone tells you like
100%.
oh well, X and Y are problematic or something, like go a bit deeper and don't take everything at face value. Do your own research, even if it looks like you want it to look.
Also, the block button is your friend, because you
Yes.
you have to curate your timeline, because this is a huge fandom and there are all kinds of people in it, and some people are not people that you personally match with. So if you don't want to see stuff like that on your timeline, if you don't care for it, block them. You're not hurting anyone, you're just taking care of yourself.
Yeah, blocking does not make you like a minor people or something like that. It doesn't make you less of someone. It's just taking care of yourself. And yeah, when we talk about army being a family, we don't obviously include everyone, because we always had a few encounters that that could or not have make you, you know, feel bad about yourself or things like that. So obviously we don't include all people in army because, as Lou said, many peoples are in army, and obviously you can't just relate to everyone. That's logical. Even when you go to a school or something, you aren't friend with everyone, and it isn't forcefully bad or something like that. It just some people doesn't match, don't have the same ideas, don't have the same minds, and it's okay to be different. This is what can make army force, but can also simply be bad for yourself, your mental health and things like that. So it doesn't make you less of someone to block someone. It doesn't hurt anyone, like Lou said. It's simply acknowledging that this person does not do anything good for you and you prefer not seeing them. It's okay. It's completely okay to not be matching with someone.
Mental health.
I would
Yeah.
also like to say that we shouldn't let anyone dictate what we should be as armies. I mean, well, of course, you should love the 7 members equally, but we shouldn't let anyone dictate what our actions should be. It's like, if you don't have the means to buy an album, then that's okay. Don't let anyone tell you that to be an army, you should have an album. You walk through your own pace.
Definitely. There are no rules here. Just love the 7 guys, love their music. That's all you need to be an army.
Yep.
Not that,
exactly.
Perfectly
not that
fine.
complicated.
You don't like every song. It's perfectly fine.
That's true. We all have different tastes in music. It's 100% fine if you like.
Yeah, and they
or
are so
another.
versatile in music. They're so versatile, so it's logical that not everyone likes every song, and it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, you literally could go by their music recommendations and see how different they are, and they're 7 people.
Yeah,
So you can
definitely.
just imagine how different we are in a fandom of like millions of people. So you don't have to be like anyone else. You just have to be yourself and listen to the music you want and do the things you want to do. As long as you don't hurt anyone, have fun.
Speak yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love yourself and speak yourself. Do you think BTS knows you exist?
I do. I think
What's the
100%.
point?
I think that maybe before the match a million, maybe not. I think they did, but afterwards, definitely.
I hope they at least seen our name. That's, you know, if anything.
Yeah.
From my 2 cents, I'm positive they knew who you are even before Black Lives Matter. Like, we know Namjoon practically lives on Twitter. So
Yeah, I think I think he secretly donates. Honestly,
really,
Wow.
yeah,
Let's go back and check our form just
yeah.
for something
Just so we can look. Just so we can
pointing
look.
to
Yeah, who knows, really? I mean, I'm sure they're proud, like, of everyone. You know.
yeah, they stalk us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We've seen Jungkook accidentally tweet that fan art.
I love Jungkook's accidents. Those are the best.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Like they know everything. They know Jim in, Jim out. They know a little meow meow. They know everything.
Wait, did you say Jimin Jim out?
Yeah. They asked them that in the interview in the Tokopedia interview in Indonesia yesterday.
Once you Jim in, you can't Jim out.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did Jimin say about that?
And they kind of explained it to him in the wrong way.
Oh.
So because they said like once you're into BTS, you can get, and that's not what it means.
No, it's not.
Yeah. But like little meow meow, they definitely know.
Yeah.
Right. They always use like cat emojis or cat everything.
My
They have
favorite.
to know.
Yeah.
Sugar meow meow.
Yeah. Like the run editors write little meow meow thing on his birthday. In the Weaver's post on his birthday, it's a little meow meow.
Yeah.
So they know. Anyone ask do you think BTS are aware that you exist? Like that one in a million, one in an army exists?
Fire. Maybe. I know that the organization send the reports, like the certificates, to them. So they maybe, at least a staff member probably knows and has told them something, but I don't know. I like to not think about it.
Yeah, pretty much saying that's what we think. Like, I mean, we like from the beginning, that's been our policy. Like to ask the organizations, like I mean, they're ultimately the inspiration for this entire project. And so instead of sending individual like thank yous to all the armies, if you can just send one to them and say, this is what Army did in your name, and we just want you to know about it. These are the people that have been helped in the world in your name. So from the beginning, we've all the organizations have sent them. I think only recently there was one that couldn't send it directly because of the pandemic. They were having postal issues, but that's the only one that they said that they weren't able to send it, but they will when they can. So they may know. I mean, if it reached them, then they know. But it's not like it's never been our focus to get known, but we want them to know what Army are doing in their name and know,
also,
know the.
It's part of their legacy. It's part of their impact. So
definitely, and let them know that they're having a positive effect on the world. And I mean, there are people that have been fed and given clean water and saved from a dangerous situation, and that was able to happen because people who are supporters of BTS have chosen to take that spirit and go forward with it and do it collectively and to make big impacts collectively. And so, for one, it would make me like really happy. It's just to know that that's going on and that's something that they can always know and be proud of. That's happening.
Anyone else wants to add something? Lena, Larissa?
No, I agree with what was said.
I feel like they do.
Why are you laughing at me?
No, we want to hear it. We want to hear it.
So I know Jimin said he's not on the internet that much, but I also know that he's really on top of almost everything that happens. And we know Jungkook is on top of all the memes and everything that happens. Yeah. And we also know basically rap line at this point. They like to address things that happen very subtly.
Yeah.
Like how they know which outfit of theirs is our favorite and which song of theirs is our favorite. So I have a theory that at least Namjoon and Yoongi know about this. And I'm very happy with that theory, and I will not let anyone take that theory away from me.
I'll find anyone who dares to.
I agree that definitely at least one of them must have at some point like found something about us, because they all they're all on the internet, and especially Namjoon and Yoongi would probably hopefully have found something. But
did he say at some point that he knows the projects that Army do?
Yeah, there was something. We got very excited when we heard that.
Yeah, that's what that's what I base my theory on.
Yeah,
too.
It's the kind of thing where even if just one of them found out something, I like to think that they would tell the rest of them.
Yeah.
So I think either none of them know or they all know about it. I think he would tell everybody. He'd be like, look at this and look at
yeah, look what they're doing.
I actually just remembered something.
Oh, go ahead, Luis.
I remember when we did the City Field project, like our biggest offline project, and when one of the volunteers, she was the one handing out all the thank you notes to the staff. They also had like usually most of them had like or an army at the bottom or something, and I know that she handed them out to a few of the Korean staff as well. So like I know they're like some part of Big Hit is probably aware. We just hope they won't take offense of what we're doing. So because usually when things go like too big, that's when Big Hit comes in and says that maybe this is not a good idea. So I just hope we never get to that point.
Yeah, if they know about us too much, they might close us down.
Yeah.
And rather
Because
than
we
them
are
knowing,
using the army name, and they did actually like copyright it. So, but we're not official, so maybe we're good.
I think you're good. I think we're good.
Not close
and rather
down.
them knowing about the name One in an Army in specific, I would like at least them to know that army in general are working together and are doing things like that, rather than just them knowing about the name One in an Army. I personally don't really, that's only my opinion, okay? But I personally don't really care about them knowing the name in specific One in an Army and knowing that people are behind Fanbase and trying to like move around charity, but rather just them knowing that army are moving together, working together for charity, and like, yeah, simply doing what we think is normal and what we can do together. Simply that, if they know it, I'm satisfied.
I think they do. I that's again like my thoughts. It hasn't been confirmed, but but I think like Namjoon is so in tune with what's going on Twitter, and he knows when we're upset or when we're angry. Like I can remember about a few months ago, like we were upset about something, and he randomly posted "Stay strong" on Weverse.
You know when that happened. You know. I remember clearly when Grammy sent out the nominations.
Right, when the
And
Grammys held the nominations.
they were nominated, and then he posted like at night when he usually doesn't, and it was like, well, it's okay.
Yeah, so I think he's very, very in tune with how we're feeling and what we're doing, that I'm positive that he knows and that he passed it on. The Purple Ribbon Project was done in front of them, so they saw it. They couldn't not see it. They were very aware of it.
I think at some point they already know that we exist. I'd like to think that way because of the Black Lives Matter movement that became huge, and we released our own press release. The media is talking about Army's project, Army that match 1 million with BTS donation. So I think they probably heard about that as well, and they probably know about us existing already.
Yeah, I think they do.
I think the thing is, though, for most of us, it's not so much that we want recognition. Like, we don't really care if they ever say, oh, Army are doing charity, like, we know that they're doing it, whatever. We don't care if they acknowledge that they know about us, but we want them to know, like, the impact they're having. Like, we want them to know that how much they've inspired, and that this is kind of happening because they were the catalyst for it.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if we know that they know about it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's you need to know that this is a part of your legacy. Like, this won't be when people will talk about BTS like 30 years from now, this will be a part of their legacy, their positive contribution to the world, and part of it is all these charities and all these donations and all these projects that help improve the world, because they inspired us and united us and allowed us to do that. So I think like them singing and being aware that that's the part of their contribution to us personally, and then from us to other people, that's very meaningful.
I would like to comfort them with the thought that, I would like to comfort them with the thought that, hey, this is what you've done. This is the change that you have done to us. This is the influence that you have done to us. So if you feel sad, if ever you feel like you're not worth it, look at the armies who are behind you. Look at the armies that you have inspired to change, and I hope that it will make your day brighter.
Yeah.
What was that?
I also think, like, I usually say that to people on when I speak to them on Twitter, that like BTS concept, big hits concept is artists for healing, and Army are trying, like, because they've said several times that they hope that through the people who follow them, they can help make the world a better place, and that's what Army is trying to do, like one project at a time. Like we're trying to heal the world in our own way because we want to pay forward what BTS gave to us.
Yeah. Oh.
And then I think, Louise, you said you were going to mention the letters.
I thought that Eric or someone could do it later, so but we can do letters. We can tell them everything.
Mention what?
We always have the organizations that we work with that are in our campaigns. We always have them send letters to the PO box that Army gets to send letters, and we do know that they read those letters. So hopefully one of them read one of the letters that come from the organizations, because we've been sending them for 2 years. And sometimes they invite them over, which is kind of cute. I know for I think it was Suktin's first birthday campaign, Purple Community Fund. Was that the first one? Does anyone remember?
Let me look.
No, it's the first one, because the second one was the animals one. So it was, and they actually like invited him over to the Philippines to come and also like that they would give him one of the creations that they do, because they use like stuff that people usually throw away or that we should recycle to make new things like bags or bracelets or anything. And they wanted to, if he ever came to visit, they would also give him one of their creations. And I think it creates a bond which would have otherwise not been created, which I also think is kind of beautiful.
Fair. Do you have any plans for the future? Plan project? Like, you're probably constantly working on new projects. You don't have to reveal them if you don't want. But you're probably okay. Never mind. I got this.
Well, it's almost like comebacks. It's also comeback season soon, but it's almost a birthday season again, and we'll do something then too. We just haven't nailed down exactly what it will be.
You get quite a break between March and September. Usually.
We always plan breaks. I think we plan like 2 or 3 breaks throughout our 2.5 year run, but we never get one because there is always something going on, and there's like, oh wait, we're doing this now, or oh, this is happening, and yeah, it's just Army in a nutshell. So
yeah, we've been talking about having a break for a year and a half, but we never do it.
Yeah.
Because even when it's not a birthday, we do a non-birthday campaign, or there's a crisis happening and we put information for that, or like there's always something going on.
Always something.
But then again,
I think the Army slogan, always something going on.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly known because we sent out a big survey a little bit ago, and that had lots of questions about how we run things and how are people getting on with it. So there might be some changes happening. Everybody stay tuned.
Funny because we always like, okay, we have to take a break, or like we should have taken a break or everything. But then when we're like, okay, so if we take a break, what should we do? And then it's always a talk about, well, we're gonna do this and that on the break, but then the break never happens. But then we still do this and that, and it's a funny cycle.
It's a never-ending process.
Yeah.
Long story short, we're workaholics.
That sums up well.
Someone asked if you have something to say to new Army.
Good luck.
Yeah. Try to survive the new comeback. Come back alive, babies.
Yeah.
Well,
follow us on Twitter. Come and look at our website. Ask us questions on Curious Cat. We have an Amino. We have an Instagram.
Look at the map.
Follow us on all our social media accounts.
Have a look at our map. The map is fantastic.
Subscribe and follow our channels. Are we doing right? Is this YouTube?
No, just
take care.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah. Let it happen.
Yeah, because that's like the only way to get through it, because there's always so much. It's like you have to ride the wave. There's no other way to do it.
And try not to drown. That's the main thing.
That's the purple you.
Take things at your own pace, and don't let anyone tell you that you're less of an army if you don't do X and Y thing. If you
Oh,
like
definitely.
don't feel like watching Run, then that's fine. Or if you don't feel like, I don't know, buying the membership or something, you're not less of an army. Just enjoy and yeah, say bye to your actual life probably. We all started
And
at the
make
I
new
want to
friends.
learn their names, and look at where we are now.
Is there something like if you had a chance like to tell BTS something, is there something you would want them to know?
About OIAA or in general?
Whatever.
Honestly, the same thing that Erica said. The same thing that Erica said. Just to ask them if they know the level of charity work that armies have done, like the level of impact that they've done in our lives. Because if they took the time to really look at these charity projects, these army projects, and the things that we've done in their names, it's crazy. So I'd probably want to know if they know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, basically the same thing. Let me think if I can think of anything else. Oh, you know what? I would be so excited if they ever like went, because when we did Namjoon's project in 2018, his first birthday project, it was in the Gili Islands in Indonesia, and they actually, when they wrote the letter, they said, "Oh, you should come and see," because it was a project to help the island. It had a lot of damage, environmental damage, and so Army had voted for an environmental project, and so the project was working with this organization that was help cleaning up the reefs and cleaning up the ocean around the island. But just before we started that campaign, they had a big earthquake that happened, and a lot of the funds had to be redirected to helping rebuild the earthquake.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, the damage wasn't as expensive as we originally thought, so we were able to, even though some went to rebuilding, some was also for the original intention. And they included in their letter an invitation to BTS saying, "Oh, you should come sometime and visit us and see the beautiful island and what your army has helped to create." And so I've been really hoping that maybe one day they might actually go there and see it. And, that would be so cool. Or the school in Guatemala, and see it like in person. That's like my dream, that they would actually go and see some of these things and be able to know that Army did this on behalf for your birthday,
Yeah. Anna?
I've honestly never really thought about it, but I'd be happy if any of these things that I said happened.
Larissa?
Yeah, I think I would just like show them our army charity map and just like go over the different projects and show them, look, this is what army has done.
To get a big screen and start zooming in.
Yeah.
Let's take you through all 680 of these projects. You need to know. That would be fun.
Every time some douche says like army are toxic, I might reply, if it's like in something that I know is gonna like get a lot of attention anyway. Like usually I just ignore, obviously, and block. But like if like when what was his name? Like that Mr. Beast, that he tweeted, "Oh, I heard that if you mention K-pop on Twitter, you succeed, BTS." And then like everything was like spam and army are toxic and all that. So I just replied with the one in an army map and said like, how toxic can a fandom be if this is what they do?
I think they do that a lot. Like they post our projects or our map.
Yeah, we do get those in the mentions a lot. They're like, and sometimes people are just, really kind about it. Like, maybe you should just, rethink what you're thinking, because this is, what the fandom's really about. And just because some people are fighting with you doesn't mean that that's a representation. So, but we get a lot of tags, that end up in, people are arguing and, someone inevitably says, "Oh, but, you guys are toxic," or blah, blah, blah. Yeah, no, we do this. So, it's kind of funny.
Yeah. Like, so just two more questions from this segment. How did BTS inspire you?
How much time do you have?
I think all the time in the world.
Sammy, you're first. Go.
I guess I would name a few times. Like, I feel like BTS really helped remind me to have compassion for myself. You know, they're really hardworking. They're already really talented, but I feel like they go towards what they want to do so genuinely, and it feels good to be able to do something like that, and to kind of feed on to their passion a little bit, because I think a lot of us, when life gets too mundane, like we lose passion and it feels meaningless. So for me, like they really inspire me in a way to kind of keep going, keep doing my thing, do things to better myself, and to also have compassion for myself, because I can get really critical and like I could beat myself down. It's the worst, it's the worst thing.
No, we don't do any of that.
But like seeing, Namjoon talk and seeing like Yoongi, sometimes Yoongi, the things he says are so profound. Like he's like, it's okay to not have a dream. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, that's exactly what I needed to hear. Yeah. So things like that, and it's amazing. Like it shows through their music, it shows through their interaction with each other, and kind of like just randomly, consistently. So yeah, I love them for that. I love them for being who they are.
Same.
And it makes me want to love myself.
So, so for me, I think, I was like a very shy person. Like I would not share really. I wouldn't voice my opinions, and I would get very anxious when I talk to like strangers on the street and stuff like that. And, I don't know. They kind of like help me to to improve on that. I used to see like the way Jane would make like shameless jokes and be fine. I'm like, why should I like care, why should I be this like reserved? And I guess that kind of like helped me be more confident and opinionated, I guess, and voice out my opinions and say what I have to say and discuss stuff. So they help me like on that personal level, and at the same time they helped me realize what I really wanted to do, like with my life. So because I was like in a different major, I was doing different stuff, and I wanted to like drop out of it and like do something else. And they kind of like gave me the encouragement through their music and their words. So I did that. Yeah, and now I'm like in a better and secure place in my life. I would say.
That's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thank you.
For me, there's
Gigi.
I don't even know where to start. I think for me it's the big influential part, similar to Sammy, just to love myself. Like the tattoo I got on my wrist for me is a symbol and a reminder daily that things might not feel okay and things might be uncomfortable and they might not be going the way that I had planned them, but it's going to be okay. And I have flaws and I have things that I don't like about myself, and I have things that I want to change, and that it's okay for me to be okay with who I am, and that it has to start with me, and then everybody else can, everything else falls into place. I've always been one that like, I feel like I have spent a lifetime trying to make other people happy, and that then in turn would make me happy. And it really never did. Like it did in the moment, but then I would be by myself and I'd be like, ooh, this sucks. I had trouble being by myself. Actually, I was the opposite. I couldn't. And it's really kind of helped me do some internal looking and finding out who I truly was and being confident in not just who I am, but the things that I enjoy. And not being afraid to show those kinds of things.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Very important to also be okay with just being with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. One more question. What do you hope the legacy of One in an Army will be? I know it's kind of a big question.
Oh yeah. Well, that's a hard one.
No, no.
Uh,
Someone asked. I had to.
See, I feel like that goes like back to BTS's theory. If it means one thing to one person, then it's been impactful. If it has made a difference and allowed, like that one person who literally reached out and said, I only have 85 cents, how do I donate it? They took the time to take whatever little bit that they had and gave. And, you know, in the world of nonprofit, if we were to raise like $10,000, some of the bigger ones, especially being like, you know, I'm close to California and used to live in California. Like that's not, to some people, that's not a big amount. But if you're going to give $10,000 to somebody who in a full year doesn't raise more than $20,000 every year they've been in business, that's a significant impact. Mm-hmm. And I feel like if One in Army can just give even a few organizations the ability to continue the work that they do, because where they're doing it, it is impactful for those people. Like I grew up really, really poor. The only reason we survived was because people were kind enough to like bring donations to my house of food and clothes and things like that. Like we didn't have hot water when we were kids. There were a lot of times that we didn't have electricity. And there were a lot of organizations in our area that helped, and they weren't very large, but what they gave was super impactful. So I feel like if One in an Army can just make even that kind of impact on just a handful of people and allow for people who can and want to give to help facilitate that kind of impact, I feel like that's the kind of legacy that we all want to leave. It doesn't have to be on a big scale, because we all are one in an army and together can make a change in the world.
Yeah, fight it.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to add?
Just agreeing with Gigi.
yeah.
Or, you know, just to feel like we made an impact in any way to anybody somewhere out there who is like suffering or feeling some kind of form or like pain, you know, if we can offer some kind of relief through what we do, that's enough.
Yeah. Malika, your mic is on mute, just so you know.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
My sister came in and she like, yeah. So to add to that, I think it's also like to see more people starting their own like charity projects and wanting to like be involved in their own communities. And you know, we've seen people come to us and say like, you know, I've seen what you do, what you're doing, and I really like it. I want to start my own project. How do you do this? How do you do that? And giving them that information and the encouragement they need to start their own. I think that would be like, that's really amazing. And also, I remember like Erica came, like she had this message. She got a message from someone. I think it was like a mother that was like monitoring like her child's device and sees like what she's doing, and she found our website in her like phone, and she reached out to us. She was like, I was very like happy to see like my daughter like be involved with charity and stuff and wanting to help, and tell me like I want to, you know, I want to donate and stuff. And she was very thankful. I think that's also like, yeah, it was very cute. It was very nice. It was it was very wholesome, really, to see that kind of like impact on a very like personal level. So yeah, I'm just adding like to what Gigi said. But yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Awesome. What do you hope your legacy of this will be?
Yeah, that's a big question.
Do you think like 20 years from now, one like army are still together, one in an army is still like thriving, or that you're an amazing memory in so many people's minds, or you hope you move from this to a different kind of charity organ? I don't know. Like, what do you see happen in the future?
Well, I really hope that OIAA stays. You know, we grow bigger, but we still, you know, are still doing charity work. All of us the same members, maybe new members, and that army still continue with this drive for charity work. I get, and I hope that stays our legacy, really, that people even, I generally don't care what the general public thinks of us as an army, but I really do hope that when they think of army, they think of charity work, or at least, you know, the people that matter realize that that's what we are too.
Yeah. Yeah, I know it's a difficult question. I know.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I really like what Michelle said. I think that, you know, I mean, I don't know about like our legacy as a, you know, fan base. I don't really think about it. You know, I think about Army as a whole and just this incredible community that we've all built together. And I like the fact, just like, you know, Michelle said, I like the fact that charity work has become our culture and helping others has become our culture. And this is something that, you know, we normalize as something that people who come together, who believe in, you know, a common cause, and artists, you know, and extraordinary, incredible artists like BTS, you know, with that unique quality that they have, that it inspires people in this way, and that is something that can go on forever, you know. So, you know, I'm pretty much in the same place. I just hope it continues and it goes on, and, you know, people will focus on the fact that, you know, these incredible communities of people can be positive forces in the world and do so much with their collective power, and you know, make a better world for us all, make a better world for BTS to live in and for all of us to live in, and you know, so that's basically, I guess, what I'd say to that.
Well, I don't really like to think too far down the road generally, but my only wish is that we can help those in need for as long as we're able to. For how long that is, I don't care, but I hope it continues on.
I like that. Larissa?
I think that as long as we make a positive change in the world, I think I will be happy, and we've already done that, but I hope that it will continue, not just with one in an army, but with army in general. And yeah, of course, I hope that we stay together and can keep doing this. I think my life would be pretty empty without it, so.
I think like army's impact, like you said, like even until now, there's so much positive impact on the world, and like we learn so much. Like, I don't know, you're all from all over the world, and just being on Twitter, you get exposed to so much stuff from all over the world and so much hardships, that to know that you're taking a part in making even a tiny change, even just lowering someone's pain from 100 to 99 to 98, to quote Namjoon, that even that like tiny effect on someone's life is a whole world. Fair. Do you have any plans for the future? Plan project? Like, you're probably constantly working on new projects. You don't have to reveal them if you don't want. But you're probably okay. Never mind. I got this.
Well, it's almost like comebacks. It's also comeback season soon, but it's almost a birthday season again, and
Yeah.
we'll do something then too. We just haven't nailed down exactly what it will be.
You get quite a break between March and September. Usually.
We always plan breaks. I think we planned like 2 or 3 breaks throughout our 2.5 year run, but we never get one because there is always something going on, and there's like, oh wait, we're doing this now, or oh, this is happening, and yeah, it's just Army in a nutshell. So
Yeah, we've been talking about having a break for of a year and a half, but we never do it, because even when it's not a birthday, we do a non-birthday campaign, or there's a crisis happening and we put information for that, or like there's always something going on.
Always something.
But then again,
I think
talking
Army
about
slogan, always something going on.
Yeah.
I think
when
it's
we talk
mostly
about
known
getting-
because we sent out a big survey a little bit ago, and that had lots of questions about how we run things and how are people getting on with it. So there might be some changes happening. Everybody stay tuned.
Funny because we always talk like, okay, we have to take a break, or like we should have taken a break, or everything. But then when we're like, okay, so if we take a break, what should we do? And then it's always a talk about, well, we're gonna do this and that on the break, but then the break never happens. But then we still do this and that, and it's a funny cycle.
It's a never-ending process.
Yeah.
Long story short, we're workaholics.
That sums up well.
Someone asked if you have something to say to new Army.
Good luck.
Yeah. Try to survive the new comeback. Come back alive, babies.
Yeah.
Well,
follow us on Twitter. Come and look at our website. Ask us questions on Curious Cat. We have an Amino. We have an Instagram.
Look at the map.
Follow us on all our social media accounts.
Come and look at our map. The map is fantastic.
Subscribe and follow our channels. Are we doing right? Is this YouTube?
No, just
take care.
Enjoy the ride. Yeah. Let it happen.
Yeah, because that's like the only way to get through it, because there's always so much. It's like you have to ride the wave. There's no other way to do it.
And try not to drown. That's the main thing.
That's the purple you.
Take things at your own pace, and don't let anyone tell you that you're less of an army if you don't do X and Y thing. If you
definitely
don't feel like watching run, then that's fine. Or if you don't feel like, I don't know, buying the membership or something, you're not less of an army. Just enjoy and say bye to your actual life, probably. We all started at the I want to learn their names, and look at where we are now. So the Bankan projects are on the map. I mean, what they donated, and they have is it the army logo or is it the Bangtan logo?
I think it's the BTS logo.
Yeah.
Anyone wants to add anything?
No, thank you for having us. And seriously, interviews are usually not something I do, but this was super fun, relaxed from away. So thank you for having us. We had fun, lots of fun.
I think my cheeks like for smiling so much. Okay, so everyone send the purple hearts in one in an army's direction and in the chat and in the comments, and thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay. We'll collab with BTS.
Okay, everyone. So goodbye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
It was fun. Thank you.
Oh, did it hurt that no one saw it?
And thank you to Army for supporting our projects always and hyping us up. We couldn't do it without them.
Yeah.
Literally.
Thank you, Army.
Thank you, Army. Love you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
I'm doing hearts as well. Also, you can see it.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you. It was very fun.
표정이 이토록 다른